weather's so nice out today. There's sun, but it's not too intense, and there's a slight breeze going around. I love it. Hey guys, so today's video is going to be overhyped books I did not enjoy or like. Now, an overhyped book is a book I see floating around YouTube or Goodreads or blogs a lot, and they were really popular for a short period of time, like everyone was talking about them. And these books that I am about to show you guys are books that I have bought into the hype, I have read, and I either didn't enjoy them or I just don't think that they are worth all this hype. Now, I have to say, please don't get offended if I mention a book that you like or you enjoy or anything about like that, because everyone prefers different things in books. The first book that I have to talk about is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. It is the first book of the Chaos Walking series. It was really popular on YouTube for a while, so I went over to Goodreads and I read some reviews, and everyone said it was amazing. Like, most of the reviews were really positive and nice, and everyone sort of said that this book is so unique and fast-paced, and that really did make me want to read it, because I do love a fast-paced book and a very exciting one. And in all honesty, I personally myself did not find this a very enjoyable read to go through. For me, the plot was kind of generic and I could really guess what was happening. And also, maybe 3/4 through the book, everything was getting too repetitive, and I was just thinking, please, can we get through the end of the book so I can know what happened? The only wowing part for me was actually the end. Everything before that was kind of really filler for me and not necessary, and I know there's supposed to be a lot of symbolism in this book about killing people and growing up. However, it was just not for me. For that, this is an overhyped book that I did not like. And the second book I have to talk about is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. This was really popular on YouTube, especially YouTube, and now there's a movie out about it, so you can guess it is pretty popular and it's pretty hyped up. And the synopsis, once again, is very amazing, and I feel like this is one of those books where the synopsis is actually more interesting than the actual book, because this is marketed as an alien apocalypse kind of thing, a very sci-fi kind of thing. However, for me, I did not find that there was a lot of sci-fi in this at all. There weren't many aliens in this at all. It didn't have the elements that I was looking for in a sci-fi book. For some reason, there was a love triangle in this. I think there was. I haven't read it in a long time. And I don't see a point of a love triangle in a sci-fi book unless it has real importance to the plot, which I believe it does not. I think I did enjoy the writing somewhat, and Cassie and Evan were really interesting characters for me. But this was not something that I was looking for in a sci-fi book, and I didn't enjoy it that much, so I will probably not be picking up the second book, which is called The Infinite Sea, I believe. So yeah, another overhyped book. Now, another book I have to talk to you guys about is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This book seems to be a pretty hyped up book. A lot of people were recommending it to me and saying that it was very amazing. So of course I was intrigued, and I bought it and I read it. And the synopsis says that it's a book about a girl who wrote letters to guys that she loved before, and one day the letters get sent out. And I thought it was going to be a book where the girl talks to each of the people she's had a crush on, and they sort things out, and maybe she finds love of her own, and there's going to be lots of character development and very amazing romance. However, when I read it, I realized that the letters really only took up a tiny chunk in the beginning of the novel. It was sort of a build-up for the romance that was coming after it, which brings me to the love triangle. There was a love triangle in this book, which in my opinion was very unnecessary, and it did nothing to the plot. It did nothing to help with the plot, so it was a pretty dull and flat book to me. After that, the main character, Laura Jean, it's written in her perspective, so we really get an idea of what her personality is like. And to me, she's a 16-year-old teenager, however her voice sounds more like she's 12. She whines about a lot of things, and she doesn't think things through when she acts. And at the beginning and at the end of the book, there really was not a lot of character development, which was something that I was very excited about. The ending of the book caught me off guard. It was just cut off very abruptly, which for me, in my opinion, it did nothing to help with the book. I don't get why it was cut off. So overall, to me, it is an overhyped book and I wouldn't really recommend it. It was a fun read while it lasted, so I would recommend it if you're looking for a filler book that you can read in a short amount of time and not have to think about it a lot afterwards. However, I don't like it very much. Another book that I have to talk about is A Darker Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. And if you have watched my April wrap-up and my May to be read, I have read Vicious by V. Schwab. It is also a pretty hyped up book and it lives up to the praise. It is actually very amazing and I would recommend that to all of you guys. However, A Darker Shade of Magic was a bit of a disappointment for me. In this book, I love V. Schwab's characters, I love her plot, I love the world building that she does. The first half of the book was excellent in my opinion. However, during the second half, the fast pacing kind of slowed down a little and the plot became a bit too predictable for me. I could already guess what the ending was going to be, so I did not actually finish it. I still have a third left to go and I don't actually plan on going back to it. So for me, it is actually a very hyped up book that I don't like and I don't think deserves the hype. Go read Vicious though, it's amazing. Another book is Winger, and I will insert a picture here because I forgot the author's name again. I also read Winger in April, and once again it is marketed as a sort of a coming of age story, one where this guy has a crush on a girl that's 2 years older than him and he goes to a school where he has to live with a bunch of, I wouldn't necessarily say mean, but bad people, I guess. And once again, I wanted it to be a very amazing book with lots of character development. However, the first thing that was a bit annoying for me was the way the main character talks. The book is in the first person's perspective. There's lots of really cute doodles in the books because the main character loves to draw, and that I really much enjoyed and I thought it was a very unique way to express something. However, the main character, when he talks and things, he likes to use a lot of hyphens, so he connects lots of words with hyphens to make it seem like one word, however it just ends up being a very long run-on sentence. The entire book is littered with them, and for me it was a bit of a hassle for me to read because it was very tiring on my brain and on my eyes. However, there was a lot of character development in the story, so I do like that about it. And the plot, it was alright, but the only part that really did shock me was when they strapped a guy to a tree and beat him to death at the night of the prom, or a party in their school. That was the only part that really did shock me, so for me it was a very meh book, so I do think that it is pretty overhyped. So that is it for my overhyped books I didn't enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Also, tell me if you want to see more of these kind of videos because I do actually have a lot of other books that I think is popular for not a lot of reasons. Oh, I feel really bad filming this kind of video because I don't like being negative.